What I have printing right now on the core one sort of represents the start of a new hobby journey, or I should say a new game journey. I've been reflecting a lot on my thoughts from a previous video where I was talking about how I had so many games and I want to play them and I haven't made time to play them or found people to play them with, and I want to change that. Obviously, I can't make that change to a bunch of games at the same time. I had to pick one and just like make a decision to stick with it and try to get it going. And I decided that the game of choice next for me is going to be Gaslands Refueled. This game has been on my shelf for ages. I actually had the previous Gaslands book and didn't play it, and then got the new one and still didn't play it. I've only played this game once at a convention, and it was so much fun. The biggest holdup in getting games going is finding people to play with. That's always going to be a problem. But one of the other issues that I faced, one of the things that like stopped me from just jumping into it, is that this game uses movement templates, and you really need them to play. When I originally was trying to get this game going years ago, I couldn't find anywhere to order them from. I could only find files for 3D printing, and I didn't want to do them on the resin printer for whatever reason. I don't remember. But now that I got this thing, I just jumped on my mini factory and picked one of the many sets of templates that are available, picked the one that I thought looked the coolest, and I'm printing them out. But the reason I, as of last night, decided to go down this path, last night I was at Value Village, which for my American viewers is the exact same thing as Savers. It's the same company, just for some reason here it's called Value Village and down there it's called Savers. For viewers outside of Canada, USA, Savers and Value Village is a thrift store, but like not a charity shop. They are a massive for-profit business that does very little for the community, isn't actually very charitable. It's a crappy corporation in terms of what it does for charity. It gets free stuff. It gets free stuff from other charity organizations. Well, not free. They pay pennies on the pound for stuff, whatever. Point is, huge thrift store, not a proper charity shop, but they are ubiquitous and have a lot of locations, and their stock actually changes, so I'm in there a lot. Point of the story is, I was in there yesterday looking for bits to make more mechs, and I found a bag of little cars. Well, I mean, there's always bags of little cars there. It's like a staple. But I happened to see one that stood out to me, and it was this old truck. It's got like the body, I don't know, of like maybe like a 1960s Chevy or something. I don't know, I really liked it, and it made me go, I really should just do Gaslands. The other cars that were in the bag were not so great, but there was many bags of cars, and each of them had one or two cool ones in it. Now, I'm not saying I went through and picked out all the ones I wanted, then combined them back into one bag, because that would not be a good thing to do at a store. That would be terrible and maybe illegal. But like I said, really shitty corporate charity shop, whatever. They got their $5 for 5 cars just like they wanted. I actually have made one Gaslands vehicle before. I don't think I made this on the channel. I think I just made it. It was after a convention I went to where I played it. I came home inspired, and I made this truck with big plans of getting a game going with my friends. And that never happened, but I always kept the truck because I liked it. And it's kind of funny, look, it's got the kill ticks on it, just like I did on that mech I just built. I guess this is like a reoccurring theme that I like to use. And building these kind of vehicles is super fun, so I'm excited to make some more. Realistically, I probably don't need this many for myself, but my goal is to get other people playing. So I figure if I have a couple cars that are ready to go and some terrain and the templates and all that stuff, it'll be easier to get people to try playing. This is the little truck that first caught my eye. I really like the look of it. It has a cool body style. A lot of these kind of like Matchbox, Hot Wheels cars, I don't know, they all kind of look the same and boring. Maybe kind of like this, right? But this one really stood out. I think it will make for a really nice, like, death race kind of truck. This one is, you know, your standard kind of muscle car, very similar to what you see on the cover of the book. I like the idea of this one, like a European style delivery van. Has lots of surface to paint some cool stuff on, glue some weaponry. I also like that it's just kind of derpy looking. So it'll have a nice juxtaposition between, like, you know, the racier vehicles and this one. And there's this old kind of hot rod here. Kind of reminds me of the Munsters vehicle. It's open bodied, so I figured it would be, you know, cool to put some cages on, some weapons, whatnot. And then a monster truck. I'm really happy about this one. This one looks sick. Like the truck I made originally, it basically is my truck that I drive. It's a Ford. I think actually this one was probably a Ford Raptor, and I drive a Tremor, so very similar. But having 3 trucks here, there'll be 3 different styles. You got the modern kind of truck, got the old vintage antique truck, and then the hillbilly monster truck. This one's gonna be super fun to mod. Some of these are pretty filthy. This one has definitely seen some time in the sandbox. And some of them have stickers on them. So I'm gonna give them a bath and a scrub. Not this one. I don't wanna accidentally put the one I painted in there. This might be a little overkill, but I think because of the stickers, it's an important step. Thankfully, these stickers are coming off easy. I'm not gonna have to soak them in anything stronger. All right, those can dry, and actually the printer is done. All right, let's see here. I only printed 3 of these. Just wanted to see how they'd look before I print a whole bunch of them. Well, it's not breakable. The template set has quite a few different ones, but I don't think it's gonna take very long to print them all out. Yeah, I think these look pretty good. They're designed so that you can swap filaments and actually have the information be printed in a different color. But I'm really new to 3D printing with filament, so I don't actually know how to do that. And I was more keen to get these done than I was to learn how to do that. So once I have them all printed, I'm just gonna spray paint them like a flat black and then paint the surfaces different colors to stand out. I'll probably actually use those new paint markers that I got. I think those will work really well. Now that I know these work, I gotta get another batch of them going.